Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this amazing Monday morning? How are you? How are you? How are you? Let's see who's in the room. I see Miss Linda. She was in the room early. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Tiffany. And she said, I am blessed in capital letters. Yes, yes, yes. Sandra says she is blessed. Tiffany says she is blessed. Deltra says she's blessed. Good morning, Deltra. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Martiniki. Are you off today? Good morning, Betty Rose. I am blessed and alive. Amen, amen, amen. I like this counter and noise effects. Good morning, cousin. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Denisha, right? Good morning. Good morning, Travis. Morning, everyone. I am blessed. I love the intro. I meant to mention it before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, just got on break. Oh, got you. That color look is beautiful on you. Thank you so much. It's green. It's green. Remember, we are green. I'm going to try to keep up with the green as long as I can. So I even got me a whole bunch of new green stuff so I can keep up with the green. I don't even wear green like this in my everyday life, but we are doing it. We are doing it because 2023 is going to be doing something different. It's going to be shaking up something different in us, right? It's going to be shaking up. It's going to be shaking those money trees, right? That's what 2023 is going to be doing for us. So, how's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Let me know in the chat how your weekend was. You're glowing as usual. Thank you, Deltra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. The heathens are heathen are heathing today, so I'm hiding in the play place area. Okay. I hear that. Good morning, Yolanda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, but the jewel tones hit different. Okay, I'll take it. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nah, I need that shirt. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jasmine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, it's time to get your taxes done and you don't want to go straight to jail. So make sure y'all contacting Betty Rose for your taxes if you don't have a tax person yet. All right, so make sure y'all get that. And oh, last night, we're going to talk about last night too. So I'm waiting for y'all to tell me about your weekend, but I want to talk about last night. And also, Jasmine had put her link in she had put her link in my DMs and I wasn't able to get it for you guys. I think cousin put it in there yesterday. Latrice, I think she put it in there yesterday for you guys. So let me know if you did not get the link for Jasmine Shopify because Jasmine can help you with your Shopify if you need your Shopify tweaked or you need some pointers or whatever. Jasmine can point you in the right direction. So with that being said, you guys, if you need it, get the help you need. So you're not sitting there struggling for months trying to make it happen, right? So you could get these things, you could get the results done way quicker, way quicker. Good morning, Vernita. Good morning. Great weekend. I was building inventory mostly. Good stuff. Good. Oh, you missed a good one last night, but the replay is available for you. Black History shirts dropped. All right, Martiniki says she dropped the shirts, y'all. So make sure y'all following Nubian's Corner and not Nubian Sunshine, because that's what I think I called her, and that's not what she. No, that's not what I think I called her. That is exactly what I called her, but that's not who she is. She's Nubian's Corner. Last night was great information when I took my notes. That's right. That's right. Good weekend. We haven't been to markets yet for the year. Oh, okay, okay. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. Good. We just was talking about the class last night. We were just now. I just mentioned it. If people were in the class last night. But yes, last night was amazing. So I want to thank you while you're here because I always want to give everybody their flowers because I want them to know that they are appreciated. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for giving that valuable class because it was so much information in that class that everybody could use. If you are thinking about doing pop-up shops, markets, vending events, anything like that, any farmers markets, any of those things that you want to start pursuing, she gave you everything that you needed to know in order for you to grow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So everybody, I want to know, tell me what your thoughts were about last night. um my raw doses. I'm too tired to sugarcoat. I get it. Let me tell you something. When you want to teach something, I don't have time to like, and I was saying something like that yesterday. I'm like, when I'm speaking, I just speak straight from the heart. Like I'm just speaking the way I'm speaking. And a lot of times it may come off harsh. But if I have to put on kid gloves to speak to you, then you're not my type of person. If I'm too harsh in my delivery, then you may not be my type of person, because this is how I am. This is how I speak. But you gotta know that is all coming from love. It's all coming from a place of me wanting you to thrive and grow and to be as amazing as you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can't be like, oh, what you think? You can't speak like that sometimes. Sometimes people need that tough love. Or sometimes people don't receive it until it sounds like that. Because then it sounds like, oh, that may be okay, I get it, Let me snap up out of it. Sometimes people don't receive it like that. I'm telling you, that's how I got to speak to myself. When I speak to myself, I'm like, get it together. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get it together. Like I really got to talk harshly to myself, because speaking like, you next time will be better. Da da da. I can't speak to myself like that. I need to be like, girl, get up. What are you doing? Like, come on. So the realness is going to be in this room. The realness is always going to be, anything that I have anything to do with is always going to be raw and uncut. So I appreciate all of I appreciate everything that you brought to the table yesterday. Every single thing. I forgot I had this YouTube page. Yes, the class was awesome. Raw doses is what's needed. Thank you, Betty Rose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Some people need the raw. Absolutely. And if it's just, if, profanity is a little, was a little too much for you, believe we cursing in our daily lives. For sure. For sure. And you would want somebody to speak to you in the way that they would, normally speak, because that means that they're delivering, that they're not being phony. And so I love it. So I absolutely love it. I love all the rawness. Bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. Just always love. That's right. These kids have had things sugar-coated, which is exactly why they act the way they do. Hello. Hello. Definitely appreciating definitely appreciated it getting up off my butt. Okay. Somebody needs they need the fire lit under their butt so they could get this popping. Right. And so, yes, definitely appreciate it. So you guys, what are some of the takeaways that you have from last night's class? What are your takeaways? What are your takeaways? Nikki, did you write the phrase down for your shirt? What was it about? I know it was what was it? It's about being broke. I know that. Time and broke. What was it about, Nikki? Because I think you should make that immediately. Good morning, Miss Pascal. How are you doing this morning? How are you doing this amazing Monday morning? How was your weekend? Yes, I need the fire. Yes, the fire needs to be lit, because 2023 is going to hit differently. 2023 is different for us this year. It's going to be something amazing this year, right? We're going to be pushing past boundaries. We're doing new things. God is working a new thing in us right now. We in new rooms right now. We're in new places and spaces. We are doing things. We're shaking things up. We are not coming here to just exist. We are coming here to disrupt, right? So we need to make sure that we have everything that we need. And sometimes it ain't going to come in with a pretty little bow on it, right? It's going to come ugly, and we're going to have to do it ugly. And that's okay. And that is okay, right? Own your data, for sure. She made sure she told y'all that. Own your data, because on certain platforms, you do not own your email list. You do not own your email list. And I'm not sure, because I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe you could just write down the emails and take them as they come in, and then import them into a platform where you can keep your customer base. But I was like, that's a lot of work, right? Why don't you just get the platform and work on the platform instead of trying to do all of that transition, and it's going to be more work than it is if you just had the platform in the beginning. So I mean, you can do it if you can access it, write down the emails, and then plug it into the email marketing platform that you're able to use, that is going to allow you to keep your data. I know for sure that Klaviyo lets you keep your data. Patricia says Shopify. You guys know how I feel about Shopify. It's not my blessing, but a lot of you guys really enjoy it, and it's really good for business, especially when you're trying to grow your business. They offer capital for you guys. As soon as you see as soon as they see the orders start popping in, they offer it for you. So I mean, there's some really good pluses and bonuses with Shopify. Plus, every single integration seems to seamlessly blend into that. Like every app seems to work with Shopify. You know, some other ones they may work, I mean, the other platforms, but everything don't work. It seems like everything just works well with Shopify. So, I mean, it's totally up to you how you want to work it. But if you, as far as like your businesses are concerned, like Patricia was saying yesterday, most of the bigger businesses are using Shopify because there's so much that can be done with Shopify. Everything is more seamless. It just seems like it has more control with a lot more traffic. So I just say that to say, you know, keep your options open. And if you struggle with Shopify, we do have our Shopify expert in here. That's Miss Jasmine. And so if you want to work with her, you can. She does do the one-on-ones, but I'm not sure about her scheduling anymore. So y'all contact her and figure that stuff out. But yes, 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 and yes. All right, so let me go back into the questions, do my homework when searching for markets. A lot of those questions I never considered. Okay. Okay. Happy Monday, Kay. I got on my bee necklace. The advice on inventory setup and due diligence before doing the markets. Yes, yes, yes. Do your due diligence on your data. Something about slow money, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen to it so we can make that shirt, Martin Nikki. Scared money don't make no money. Hey, yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I forgot to tell you that 6 figures is easy to do at markets. Make sure you aim. Here we go. Make sure you aim for 1,900 a weekend. So if that means 2 events per weekend, then that's what needs to be done. And I know that Ms. Quell had asked that question. Do you think that you should do 2 markets? Yeah, 2 markets on the weekend as opposed to just doing the one. And so if your goal is to make 1,900 or more, then you don't hit it in the first. If you don't hit it in one, then you know that you got to do the 2, right? So yes, yes, and yes. So if you got a weekend, go for the full weekend. Girl, that top is gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Finding the markets where your avatars are. Wait, where your avatars is will take some trial and error, but make sure you find them. Yes, yes, and yes. You have to know where your customers are. And when Patricia was saying avatar, she was saying your ideal customers. So yes, yes, and yes. Because usually when before, you know, it was popular for not popular, but before everybody was using the avatar methodology, is that it? I was like, Avatar, as soon as I heard Avatar, I went to the movie. Like that's where my mind went, not to my ideal customer. My mind automatically went to the movie. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get it together because it ain't about the movie. It's, you know what I mean? It's like I gotta get my mind together because that's not what it's all about. So just in case, if your mind went to where my mind went when I first started hearing Avatar, it is your ideal customer. So if your ideal customer is going to be at markets, you want to find out where those markets are so that you can be there as well. Yes, yes, and yes. What I got from the class, I have all this potential and I'm missing out because I'm ignoring that the noise that is my husband. Yes, ignore that noise. Ignore it. Hey Trina. Good morning, Nene. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Miss Lois. My bad, my grammar isn't good until I have my coffee. Hello. Hello. Thank you for the super sticker, babe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so your takeaways and what are you going to be applying to your business as of now? So if you're starting to do markets, what are you going to apply to your business now? Markets is going to be starting up pretty soon. Summer, spring, all of that is coming up. You got your holiday markets, all of that's coming up. So what are you going to be applying to your markets that you learned from yesterday? Like, what's your action step? And you need to take this action step immediately. Immediately. The B is nice. Thanks for the continued support. I will always support you. Always, always, always. Good morning, Sherelle. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nikkie said, hey, Sean. Nikki said, hey, what are you gonna, good morning, Tanya. Good morning. Are you out on your walk this morning? Day 1 to 5. What are you guys going to be applying to your market life right now? Now that you heard Patricia's live yesterday, what are you going to be applying to your market life now so that you can make 6 figures at these markets? What will you be applying? And let me know right now in the chat. And while I'm waiting for you to tell me what you're going to be applying, 1 to 5. That's right. That's right. While I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what you're applying, I'm going to tell you what we're going to be talking about today. Good morning, Michelle. Happy Monday. Good morning, Janae. Good morning, Jamie. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. I missed it, but I would like to upgrade our display. Yes. Got you. Crack down on the hello. That email collection, the emails, collecting your emails is top tier. Number one, because you don't want to miss out on the customers that you engage with. You don't want to miss out on them. What are the chances that you're going to run back into these people at other places? That may happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you want to make sure that you capture them when you have them. When the moment is hot, you get them. You grab onto them. Hold on to them tight. Let me see. Get your customers data, definitely. Looking for markets where my avatars are and start booking my markets and collect that data. That's right. That's right. That's right. Bernita says collect customers data. Collect customer data. Yes. Collect emails, but find Klaviyo clunky to navigate. Need to take a class. Okay, so we have a Klaviyo class, Klaviyo. We have a class in the Honor Society. We've actually had one of the executives in, and he did a live for us. And there's some also there's some bonuses with that. So you'll have some tutorials on how to maneuver around Klaviyo. Good morning, neighbor. My neighbor's here. Everybody say good morning to Norma. Good morning, neighbor. Crack down emails and create my spreadsheet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Booking the markets, period. For Nikki, if you don't get your butt in all the markets, if you do not get your butt in all the markets, I'm going to be upset with you. Upset with you. So you better make sure you are at the markets. Nikki, you need to. Yes. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yes. Oops, hit too soon. You need to have postscripts. Okay. Let me write that down. I'll put it out. If I put it on here, I might forget it. But just send me a message so I don't forget it. I'm going to put it right here, but I'm going to do it right immediately. Postscripts. Igor? Yes, please. I'm doing a video on creating templates soon for those who struggle with it and claim. Oh, come on, Jasmine. See, you see the problem and you solve it. That's right. You the problem solver. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. I said I'm waiting on one. You're not waiting on one. There's plenty. Patricia, what's the next one you doing? Nikki is far, but not that far. She can go to this market. There's some features in there that can save y'all some time and effort. Come on, Jasmine. I have to create the spreadsheet. Okay, let's get it. Let's go. Yes, Igor from Postscript. Okay, cool. Yes. Sean, you still in here? Yep. Babe, get on it. Can you contact Igor from Postscripts, please? Eastern Market is our next one. Can she get into Eastern Market? You apply for one. You need to apply for more than one, Nikki. We need more than one. We need Igor from Postscripts to see if he can do a live. All right. Okay. I missed yesterday's live. Is it in the Honor Society? Yesterday's live is still up in on YouTube, so you'll be good. Yesterday's live is still up. And it'll be up till 7 p.m. tonight. So you'll be able to catch it. Make sure you have your pen and your pad ready because Patricia dropped a lot of gems. So you got to make sure that you do this. You need to have multiple apps, Nikki. Okay? Yes. Also, I don't want y'all to think y'all are ever too harsh on me. This is the kind of talk I grew up with. I receive it as love. That's right. You better know I love you. You better know it. And you better know I love you. I love you. Damn, girl. I love you hard. I love you real bad. All right. So if you watched yesterday I was in the garden. If you watched my stories yesterday, so I was in the garden and I collected my scraps and everything. So we got a good garden analogy. At first, I was going to use. There was a sermon yesterday from Elevation Church, and I was going to use that for today because it was really good about God moving you and not cutting the trees because you got a bit of fruit, and it's gonna help you later. But I was like, I'm gonna use that one. Probably I'm gonna do that one tomorrow. But today, when I was in the garden yesterday, when I was moving the frozen dirt and put my scraps in the ground, I was like, I put up a story about it, but then I looked at the fence and I was like, the fence is what we need to be speaking about today, right? Because LaRonda is always saying protect your peace, right? So we already discussed about our scraps, and the things that we think is trash is our garden's treasure, right? So the things that we think that happen in our life is, the harsh things that happen in our life that we assume people think is trash, or we assume that is trash. We can use that to fertilize our soil, to create treasure, to create fruit that we can eat, right? And so it nurtures the dirt, it nurtures the environment. This is what we have been speaking about, right? We spoke about the nurturing the dirt with the compost and the waste, everything that you've had gone on in your life, unfortunate events, sad events, bad events, everything that you've went through in your life is something that is going to be beneficial, that can help you to grow you, right? There's something in that the scraps that is going to nurture and fertilize that soil, right? And so you're going to use everything that life has thrown at you, and you're going to use that for your good, right? You're going to use that to fertilize your soil, and that's to fertilize your environment, that's to fertilize your mindset, that's to fertilize your spirit, that's to fertilize your family, that's to fertilize anything, fertilize your business. It's to fertilize everything that you've gone through, right? So all those scraps, you're going to take them, and it's going to work for you, right? But if we fertilize our soil, right, the soil is good, we started planting seeds, things to start growing, but now we can't protect our garden because the fence is not sturdy, right? We are not protecting our garden because the fence is not sturdy. So anything could get into your garden and destroy it. Anything could get in there and ravish your garden because it's not properly protected. And I say all of that to say you need to make sure that you are protecting your peace. You are protecting your environment. Once you start doing things, God, like I said earlier, God is putting a new thing in you. You got a new mindset. There's new ways of thinking right now, right? So you have all of that going on. Now you need to protect that, because just anything can come in and destroy that and take what you started building and ruin it, right? And even if they don't ruin it, they could still come in and destroy some of it, maybe not all of it, and still mess you up for a second, and you still got to come back, because now you got to redo, you got to replant these seeds, you got to do this all again, you got to tend to the garden again, because it came through and it started destroying everything, right? Or destroying some things, not everything, and you still had to rebuild, right? So I want you guys to think of it like that. Remember in my garden, at first there was something that ate everything low, right? And I think it was the rabbit, because the rabbit came back, right? So the rabbit ate everything that was low, right? And I was hurt, right? I was hurt, but I was like, the rest of my garden is still growing. I just got to figure out how I could keep this rabbit out now. So now I gotta protect myself differently now, right? Because now I have, the year before I didn't grow as well as I grew this year. This year I grew crazy. Like I had a plenty of food in my garden, right? Last year it wasn't as vibrant as it was this year, right? And so since it wasn't, I didn't have to worry about too many predators because it wasn't that much growing in there. And since it wasn't that much growing in there, it didn't attract the predators, right? And so I want you to think about that too. Now that you are starting to nourish yourself, you're attracting predators. Yes, you're attracting things that are that is going to steal your joy, that is going to steal your peace, that is going to try to steal and destroy what you are building right now. And it doesn't necessarily have to be outside influences. It could also be yourself. Right? It doesn't have to be, oh, this person is hating on me, because that may not be it. It may be something that's internal, that's an internal battle with yourself. And once you start seeing yourself flourish and you're starting to see yourself grow, you self-sabotaging. You have these limiting beliefs. You have this fear. You have these things that are pulling you in the wrong direction, and they're pulling you back and they're pulling you down because you're starting to think, oh my gosh, I'm getting too big. I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I don't deserve this. Why should I be doing this? And you start to sabotage yourself. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about right now? Anybody in the room, put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. The influence may not be from the outside. It may be from the inside. Right? But it's still going to come in and try to ruin what you started to establish. Right? And so what I had to do was, when the rabbit came and ate everything low, I was like, okay, now I got to figure out how I could keep this rabbit out of the garden. So then I started putting up different things, looking up how I could keep rabbits out of the garden. What do I need to put up as a barrier, as far as like, scents and things like that, so that it would not be attracted to come inside the garden, right? So what could I do? I had to start changing things around. And this is the same thing that we have to do with ourselves. We have to start changing things around. Once we start growing, and once we start seeing that everything is growing beautifully, we have to figure out how to protect that now. You have to learn how to protect what you are starting to build. Your businesses are starting to flourish. Things are starting to happen for you. And once you see that things start happening, everybody always thinks, so if everything is good is happening for me, what bad can happen? So now we're inviting the bad, right? Because now something's got to happen. Right? And if it's not us, it may be something else. If it's not us, it may be the environment. It could be so many things that are going to hinder you along this process. But you have to know that in the end, everything is going to be worth it. And so you have to know that when you start building your structure, you got to do it with firm foundation. So I had up in my garden, I had like this, just a little wiry fence, which worked. It worked for the time that I had it. But now I outgrew that because I started to grow. Now I'm getting more comfortable in my gardening. You're getting more comfortable in growing your business. You're starting to see things. You're starting to see things growing. And now you got to figure out how to make this garden better, how to make your fence better, because now it needs stronger protection. What worked in the past is no longer working right now. So what worked for you before is not working for you right now, because now you got to think bigger. You got to think stronger, right? And that's the same with your person, right? You got to think bigger. You got to think stronger, because if you are not, this is not an easy thing for you to do. Entrepreneurship is not easy by any means, right? You're going to have some tough skin. It's going to do some stuff to you. You're going to learn some things, but it's going to take some things, and you're going to have to rebuild. And it's a process, right? And so that's the same thing. It's the same way that you got to think, right? Now my fence is no longer strong enough, because now I know that other things can get in it. So I got to keep those things out. So now I got to build a better fence, right? What worked for me in the past is no longer working for me now. So now I have to get stronger. Now I have to get wiser. Now I have to look at things differently. Now I need different materials, because different materials may mean different circles, need a mentor, maybe getting a coach, or, different things like that. That may be the things that you need in order for you to build this fence. Maybe you don't know how to build the fence, and so you don't know how to build a stronger fence. You just knew how to build something that was going to, be able to handle whatever you needed for that particular moment. But maybe you don't know how to build a fence, so now you got to probably go research a fence, right? You got to research how to build one. What's going to make it sturdy? What do I need? All the things that you need. Then you're going to have to get all those materials, and you're going to have to figure out how to build that fence, or have somebody else build that fence. But either way, that fence has to be built if you plan on gardening. me, right? And so that is how I want everybody to start looking at it. Now that you start growing, you're going to have to, you have to protect yourself differently than you did before, because you were learning and growing before, but now you need something, because now that you're learning and growing, things are starting to come in and starting to take what you got. And you can't allow things to just come in and steal everything that you're building, because then you're going to get discouraged because you don't have nothing left. You have nothing left, right? And so you guys are going to have to start paying attention to the environment and know that it's time. Right now is the time for you to start building that stronger fence so that nothing else can get in there and destroy what you are building. Right? Nothing can come in there and destroy your whatever you're growing in your garden, whether it be flowers, whether it be fruit, vegetables, whatever you're growing in your garden, your business, your family, your structure, your home, all this stuff, whatever you're building right now, you are going to have to make sure that you have a strong foundation to protect what's going, protect what you're building. Yes, 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 and yes. Well, let me tell y'all something. I didn't look at my notes yet, but I got me a book that I'm going to be putting all of my stuff in. So all of my stuff will be in here. So when it's time for book time, I'll have it all together. I don't have to look for notes and everything. Usually I'm putting on sheets of paper, but I got it all together in my little handy dandy notebook right here. So this is what we're going to be doing. Let me see what else I have in here, because I got to go to my notes, because 4 pages. And this is a what is this, 5-star notebook. And so yeah, it's a 5-star. And so I got lots of room to write. I have lots of room to write. All right, so let me see. We already spoke about the old ways of protection is not going to work anymore. The old ways of thinking is no longer going to serve you. So you're going to have to do away with the old way of thinking. You're going to have to do away with the old friends. You're going to have to do away with the old methods. You're going to have to do away with the old environments. You're going to have to do away with those things in order for you to get what you need to protect this garden. Yes, yes, and yes, 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 and yes. So what does it look like for you? Like, what does a predator look like to you? Is it you? Is it your limiting beliefs? Is it your fear? Is it somebody in your ear? Is it friends, naysayers? What is it? What are your predators? What are your predators? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. And again, it could definitely be yourself, because self-sabotage is something that we all do. We do it at different levels, but it's something that we all do, right? Because we may see that we start growing and flourishing, and then all of a sudden something happens. All of a sudden we make ourselves sick. And yes, I said make ourselves sick. Right? All of a sudden we can't think. All of a sudden we don't have ideas to grow this thing. All of a sudden we don't know how to do something we knew how to do before. Now all of a sudden we don't know how to do it, or we don't know how to take it to the next level. That happens. It's something that happens. It's something that's in us that we do. And so when those things start to arise, we need to pay attention to it, and we need to take them things down immediately, because it is not going to help the growth of your next level. To get to your next level, that's not going to help you. It's not going to serve you by any means. So we need to release all of that and let all of that go, and do it anyway. Yes. I'm in my own ear. Yep. That's why I keep my circle very small. And yes, I'm very harsh on myself. Yes. Me and my procrastination. Yes. And all these things are not going to serve you. All these things are not going to help you. You're going to allow, your fence is going to get weak, and you're going to allow any of that to always come in and eat whatever they can get to. Right? And so all that planting and all that, the nourishing, all those things that you did in order for you to have this beautiful garden, your weak fence is going to allow the predators to jump in. They could just easily jump over it. The deer, once they figured out that they could get into my garden, they were coming in my garden at all angles. Right? They weren't just coming in at the first place where they came in. Then they started getting creative. They was like, oh, there's stuff over there I want to eat. And so they broke the net. Right? And so they got in over there. Then it's like, oh, there's stuff over here I want to eat. They were even reaching over my net, because I didn't have a fence. I had deer net. And so they were reaching over the deer net, and that some of us may be holding on to our lives in by string. right? We may be holding on by a deer net. It's something there that's holding us there, but it ain't gonna hold everything back. It's holding it enough, but it ain't gonna hold everything back. Because as soon as something heavy start leaning on that net's gonna collapse into the garden, right? And so some of us are just holding on to a string, right? And so we need to strengthen that. We need to make sure that we are strengthening that. The deer were coming in and just eating because the stuff started growing. And I'm telling you, my neighbors in here, right? I had a whole, like, my garden was thriving this year. I had all kinds of stuff that never grew in there before. And so it was reaching over and taking the tomatoes, reaching over and taking the cucumbers, reaching over and taking things that it could, get from the edge of the garden. And so that, remember that anything can come and destroy what you're building. You could do it to anything, could just come in peeking and peeking and peeking and grabbing it, right? And so we need to set a strong foundation. We need to build up a strong enough fence so that no matter what is trying to come in, they're not going to get in. And if it does happen to try to attack or try to get in there, you have thought about ways that thing can't get in there, right? Or something that's going to surround the plant or something like that, that is going to protect that plant. Maybe you need to put scents out there. Maybe you need to put peppermint around. Maybe you need to put garlic around. Like, whatever is going to help you repel oil. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going to help you to keep those things out of your garden, because they just need to get out of your garden. They need to not know that they can come back. Like, if the bear come around and they find food, they're going to keep coming back around. We have them, right? So if they find that they can come back and get food, or they find that they have food for the first time, they'll come back, right? And they'll keep coming back. And then when they see that there's no more food, that they're not going to be able to get food from you anymore, then they're going to go on to the next thing. They're going to forget about it. But you got to make sure that you establish that pattern first, because if you don't establish that pattern, people are going to think that they could always take from you. People are going to always take advantage of you. You are always going to self-sabotage yourself. You need to establish a pattern that people are not going to be able to do that to you. And that even including yourself, right? You have to establish that pattern, because if you do not establish a pattern that you are not going to get food from me, you're not going to eat me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a beast. I'm a lion. You're not going to just eat me up. And if you're going to try, we're going to fight, right? And you have to make sure that you have that mentality, that you're not going to allow these things to take over your life and take over what you're building. You got to protect it. You got to protect it. You have to protect your fence. Yes, yes, and yes. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, please do not. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Miss Lois. Don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. Don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. You see what she said? She said, yes, I was helping eat it. And that's for sure. I had fruit for my family. I had fruit to share with my extended family. And I was able to, you know what I'm saying? I was able to provide. And you want to be able to do that. You don't want something to just steal it. You want to be able to give it, right? So make sure that your fence is strong. Make sure that you are not protecting your mind, protecting your spirit, protecting your environment with a deer net. Make sure that you are protecting it with something that is going to be sturdy, that nothing is going to push up against and cave in, that no animal is going to be able to jump over. So you got to make sure that you're building whatever it is that you need to build, so that people are not taking advantage of you, that you are able to build this and you are able to grow. Period. Because people are not going to be considerate. The animals are not considerate about me taking my time out there in the garden to plant my seeds. They're looking at it like, oh, food. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks for putting this out there for us. They're not looking at it as me being, it's for me. They're looking at it, oh, you did this for us. Right. And so you need to think about that when you are putting your seeds in your garden, when you are planting the seeds, when you are in those environments that are no longer serving you. You need to think about that, because people are not going to look at you like, oh, you trying to do better for yourself? Oh, then let me stop being a gossiper. Oh, you trying to do better for yourself? Let me stop being a betrayer. Let me stop being a liar, because you trying to do better for yourself. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's all about them. The animals didn't care about me trying to do all the hard work that I put into my garden. They didn't care about that. right? They only thought about survival. They're thinking about it for themselves. We need to be thinking about ourselves, right? When we're in our garden, we need to be thinking about ourselves, and we need to make sure that the fence that we build is going to be sturdy and strong, and it is going to withstand anything that comes in it. That's the low animals. That's the animals that's under the ground. That's the snakes in your grass. That's your friends. That's the people that think that they're going, people that stealing your ideas. That's the people that are telling you can't do it. That's the people that don't support your business. You got to make sure that all those people down there, that you're making sure that you protect yourself from them, because they're going to come. It's going to happen. It is life. Life happens in that manner. So we have to make sure that anything that we are building is protected. Anything that you're building that is protected. Everybody put in the chat, it's protected. Is protected in the chat. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. The hardest thing is when your predators are your family that you love. Exactly. Exactly. And then you don't want to cut them off, but you got to cut them off. I don't want to cut the animals off because they need to eat, right? I don't want them starving in nature because they need to eat. Yes, they're eating the grass and they're eating from nature, but they want something good and delicious too. They want a tomato. They want a cucumber. They want stuff too, right? But I have to cut them off in order for me to thrive, to grow my garden, because they're going to continue to just take. And I'm never going to be able to bear the fruit because they're going to constantly be taking it. A word. So you guys need to make sure of that. You need to protect that, because yes, they need to eat, but they don't need to eat what I have. They need to go out in nature and find what they get, but they cannot live here. They cannot eat here, because once they devour my garden, I will be left with absolutely nothing for anybody. Not for myself, not for my neighbor, not for my family. I will have nothing for anybody. So you got to make sure that when things like this happens, and that again, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be yourself, whatever that is, remember, you have to protect it, because you have to do what you need to do in order for you to live and thrive, and in order for you to feed your family and feed your soul and feed whatever you have to feed, right? And nurture your business and grow your business. You got to make sure that you have the ability to protect it. That fence needs to be strong, right? Soon as those negative thoughts start entering your mind, nope, my fence is blocking you. You got to stay up out of here. Soon as those friends start coming in, oh, they listening to your business ideas, and now they doing your business ideas. Oh, nope, got to protect myself. You got to get up out of here. As soon as it's those friends, those family members who don't believe in what you're doing, and they got so much to say about your business and all your little business and all your little this and your little that. Oh, you doing this, and they got all these negative things to say. You got to build your fence, because you can't come in here. You have to make sure that fence, and you have to make sure that fence is sturdy, because they can't just be, they start saying something, and then they say something that hit below the belt, and you're like, oh, they got into my fence. Oh, they got into my fence, right? So you got to make sure that you are protecting that. You have to make sure that you are protecting your peace, your environment, your sanity, your business, your mindset. You have to protect it at all costs. Nobody can get in there and disrupt that. You're building a new thing right now. I told you, God is working a new thing in everybody right now. It's the 2023 is going to be hitting different for all of us, right? 2023 is going to be something different for everybody. And it's going to take some work. And in order for that to happen, you're going to have to learn some things. Right? I don't know how to build a fence, but I got to learn how to build a fence, because in order for my garden to grow, I've got to make this fence, and I have to make it strong. So I've got to learn how to make this. So I'm going to do all of necessary things that I need to do to make it. And if I don't know how to make it, I'm going to have to get somebody to help me do it, or I'm going to have to get somebody to do it. Either way, I'm still going to get the help that I need in order to protect that garden. So if you get a coach, if you have people that are speaking life into you that are going to help you, if you have a community that is speaking life into you, you're going to, maybe you need that, right? Because you don't know how to build the fence. So maybe you need that to help you get the garden together, to help you get the fence together. And that's okay. Right? It's okay to have help building the fence. Maybe the wood is too heavy, I can't carry it. Maybe I can't drill the holes in the ground, or push the what you call those T-bars into the ground. Maybe I can't get it in there. Maybe I need help. Maybe I need somebody to use their tools to help me get these things in the ground. That is okay. That is okay, but just make sure that you do what you need to do to build that fence, because it has to be built. It has to be built, period. There's no way around it, because in order for you to protect what you're building in there, it needs to be there. And by you prolonging it, you're only going to keep on doing, repeating the same patterns. If I put up another deer net for the next season, for when spring comes around, if I put up another deer net in my garden and then the animals get in there, you know who's to blame? Nobody but me. Because I'm repeating the same patterns that I know did not serve me the previous year, but I'm going to repeat it anyway because it's familiar to me. And because it's familiar to me, I'm going to do it because I already know what I'm doing, as opposed to figuring out how to build this fence, how to make my fence stronger. So it's on nobody but me if I repeat that pattern. It's the same thing we're doing. We're repeating patterns and we're expecting things to be different. That's the whole definition of insanity, right? We're trying to do something. We want something different, right? I don't want the animals in my garden, but yet I'm gonna put up the same kind of fence, knowing that it didn't work, knowing that the deer were wise and they got in, knowing that I had rabbits and squirrels and chipmunks and all kinds of stuff in there. I had all kinds of stuff in there, knowing that I had that in there, but I'm gonna build the same kind of fence, right? And so we can't do that. We can't do the same things we did last year. We can't build the deer net for this year, right? From last year, we can't do that for this year. It has to be different. And if you need the work, you get the work, right? You need the help, you get the help, right? Ain't nobody saying learn how to build this fence on your own. Ain't nobody saying that, right? What I'm saying is if you need the help, get it. If you need help to address certain things in your past, get it. If you need help trying to grow your business because you don't know what the next step is, get it. If you need to hire a coach, if you need to hire somebody who could build that fence, get it. If you need to hire somebody or you need to do something different in order for that thing to happen, then do it. Because you're not going to change. You're not going to change what's going on outside in the outer world if you don't start changing what you're doing for your inner world. You got to start changing. Things have got to change, right? It has to change. It has to change. Period. I can't build the same way. You can't build the same way. We're not expecting the same results. So things got to change. We got to stir some things up. We got to get some better wood. We got to get some better fencing. We got to do something. We got to protect it. Yes, yes, and yes, everybody. Yes, yes, and yes. Put yes, yes, and yes in the chat. Put yes, yes, and yes in the chat. Good morning. Good morning, Kathy. Woohoo church. You girls are crazy. Free. And it didn't have any pesticides on it. So you could just eat it directly from the garden without worrying about harmful chemicals on your stuff. And so we were able to eat the stuff right off the branches, off the vine. We were able to eat things. And I sat in there and I would eat in the green beans with Mason. Mason would come over. If you guys don't know, that's my neighbor across the street, not Norma, the other one. They would come over and help me in the garden, and he would come and pick the green beans when it was time for us to pick them. Like, Nikki, you got red tomatoes. Nikki, it's time to pick tomatoes. They red. And we would sit out there and we would eat them. And we would eat them because it was chemical free. We didn't have to worry about rinsing it off. I mean, the bugs and everything may have gotten on it, but it is what it is. It's nature. It is what it is. Negative energy and guilt for doing and being better. And absolutely, you cannot allow it. Cannot allow it. Yes, protect it. It's protected. It's protected. It's protected. Yes, 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 and yes. You have to make sure there we go. My neighbor gonna help me build the fence. And she know how to do everything. So good. The deer ain't gonna get in my garden. Not getting into my garden. Learn to say no. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't pay no mind if I answer a question y'all already passed. No worries, Jamie. I had to take a call that lasted 22 minutes. Oh, got you. Got you. Good morning, Connie. Good morning. Good morning, Tiffany. Did I say good morning to you already? It feels like I didn't. Yes, yes, and yes. So you got to make sure that you are protecting your peace, protecting your environment at all costs, Let me make sure I'm not missing anything because I did have like 4 pages of notes. Let me make sure. Let me see. The fence have to be strong enough. It has to be high enough because things will jump into your garden. The deer was like, they would take a running start and jump into it. And they were getting into it. They don't care. They don't care. Best tasting veggies ever, homegrown. Absolutely. 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 And then I also have in here, and Norma said that too. Could be by your she's like, it's the hardest part is when it comes from your family. You could be blindsided when it comes from your family. Sometimes you may never even see anything until you hit a certain level of success, and then you start seeing different things. You start seeing different characteristics in them that you've never seen before. They start saying certain things to you, thinking that, it's not going to hurt your feelings, or maybe they are trying to hurt your feelings. Maybe they want you to feel a certain type of way. Maybe they want you to feel bad about yourself. Maybe they want you to start questioning your ability to do things and things like that, because now you're no longer available for them to do the things that they want to do and listen to what they want to say or listen to their pity parties. And you're no longer available for that, because now you don't have time for that, because that doesn't help your garden grow, right? I'm not going to surround myself with things like that, because it's not going to help my garden grow. So your negative words are not going to feed my soil. So in order for me to be around you, you're going to have to feed my soil. And if you don't feed my soil, I'm going to have to limit my time around you. And that is okay. That is okay. I don't have to be around you. You don't have to be around, because clearly you're a weed in my garden and I need to pull you out from the roots. Clearly. Right? If only we can grow vodka. You a mess. A whole hot mess. Whole hot mess. Cut off the bank. No time. No time. That's right. That's right. That's right. She's gonna kill me. I am. I'm not a weed, I promise. You got to make sure you pull those weeds out from the ground, because remember, I told you those weeds, those roots go real deep. You don't pull it out from the root, they're going to grow back. So you need to make sure that you're doing that with your friend circle. You're doing that with the things that that doesn't serve you. You got to pull those things out from the roots, because if you don't, they will grow back and come back. And when they do, they may be stronger and better than ever. And they may choke out what you're growing. And that is not what we want, right? It's absolutely not what we want. So let me just one more page. Let me look in, make sure I say every single thing. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case. Okay. So the last thing that I wrote is about the rabbit. Remember, I told you I was discouraged when the rabbit came and got all of my low stuff, right? But it didn't get everything. And so I was still able to grow in my garden, but I those things that the rabbit ate, I had to either figure out if I'm going to rebuild those things, if I'm going to take those out and not grow it anymore, right? And so I decided that I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to replace what the rabbit has stolen. And some of us have to do that in our lives too, right? So sometimes, let's say a predator did get in, right? Because our fence was weak. Let's say the predator did get in. Now we have to rebuild, right? Rebuilding doesn't mean that it's destroyed. Rebuilding means that it's a new thing, right? So now we have new ways of how we're going to, a new approach on how we're going to grow this thing. Right? It's no longer going to be in the same manner, because we know what happened the first time. So now it's going to be different the way we rebuild. We're not going to get discouraged. Yes, it's going to hurt a little bit. Yes, it was a little blow, but we're going to keep on moving. We're going to keep on growing. We're going to keep on thriving, and we're going to keep on producing, because we're not going to allow something that did get into there and get into our fence, into our garden. We're not going to allow that to take over. We're not going to allow that to devour, come back in and destroy everything else, right? We're not going to allow that to come in and destroy the rest of what's thriving in the garden, right? We're going to stop it. We're going to nip that in the bud. We're going to rebuild, and we're going to keep on growing, and we're going to keep on thriving. So what I mean by that is, don't let anything that is coming to it may knock you off your feet for a second. It may take you out for a second. It may disturb you for a second. Don't let that take over. Don't allow that to take over. Give it a minute. Feel it, know what it is, and know that that's not where you are right now, and continue to build. Continue to rebuild. Continue to pour into yourself. Continue to build the sturdy fence so that you can keep those things out, so that they cannot disrupt you anymore. They cannot come to destroy and kill your stuff anymore. You are going to protect yourself. So all of that to say, make sure that you guys are protecting yourself. You protect your environment. You protect your garden. The same way, and I posted up a video yesterday. The guy was like, you put an alarm system on your house because you want to protect it. You put an alarm system on your car because you want to protect it. You put an alarm system on all the things that you want to protect it. You keep money in the safe because you want to protect it. You put money in the bank because you want to protect it, right? All these things have protection. But we don't do the same thing with our mindset. We don't do the same thing with our spirit. We don't do the same thing in our business. We're not protecting it. We're leaving it open for everything to get into it and onto it, right? We're allowing these things to come in. We have to make sure that we are protecting our garden, right? Whatever your garden looks like. Your garden, again, it could be your business, it could be your mindset, it could be your spirit, it could be your family, it could be your home, it could be anything. Make sure that you are protecting it, because anything will come and get into it if it's left unprotected. If it's left unprotected, people put those signs outside their house saying that their house is protected by something, so that they know people who are trying to be, trying to come and to take what they got. Oh, your home is not protected, so I'm gonna go. People put that sign out there to let them know, hey, back it up, because we are protected over here. So whatever happens to you now happens to you right now. Some people have no trespassing on their property. Whatever happens to you if you on my property is going to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Little rabbit, if you come into my garden, I'm sorry, I might have to take you out. Might have to shoot you with a BB gun. I might have to do this. I might have to do that. But you can't be in here. You can't be in here. So you got to make sure that you have healthy boundaries around everything that you are trying to protect. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes, and yes. I love my brother though. A lot of negativity is projection. It's okay to create healthy boundaries, yes, and barriers. Definitely. Definitely. And make sure that they are nice and strong. Make sure that they are nice and deep in the earth. Make sure that they are nice and deep embedded in your body, in your spirit, in your mindset. Make sure it's buried nice and deep so that nothing can come in and move it. So, you guys, I said everything that I had on my paper. And again, I didn't really look down too much, but I just made sure that I hit up all the points that I wanted to address. So what did you guys take away from today's live? I love me a good garden analogy. That is my thing. I was going to go back into the acorn in the trees because of the sermon that I heard yesterday, but I'm going into that tomorrow. But you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself. Protect yourself at all costs. At all costs. Yes, yes, and yes, Travis. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, and you'll find peace and things will get better and the boundaries will be learned to be respected. Absolutely. And that's the same thing with the bears and the same thing with the deer. They know that they can't come back and just take and take and take. If they know that they can't keep coming back, they're going to go somewhere else. And that's okay. That's okay. Let them go somewhere else. But they're not going to feed off of you. Yes. So if you guys, I'm waiting for you guys to respond. But while I'm waiting for you guys to respond, if you're catching the replay, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure if you're not subscribed yet, and if you're listening right now and you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe and comment and let me know what your thoughts are for this live today. And we are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every morning for Coffee with Nikki, your daily cup of information and inspiration. And yes, let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know what you guys are thinking before we close out. I don't know why I repeat things twice like that. It's a habit. How do you do that? How do you subscribe? Somebody tell me where the subscribe button is on YouTube. I think it's right under the video. The little red button right under the video. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes. Protect your garden. Make sure it's sturdy. Make sure it's tall. Make sure it's bright. Whatever it needs to be in order for that garden. If it needs to have spikes on the top. If it needs to have barbed wire on the top of your garden so that you can keep out predators, then you need to do that. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to do. Whatever that is. Whatever that is, if that means that you have to have okay, so we had slugs, I had to pick them out. So you know what I have by my garden? I have little tongs that I pick up these little slugs with and I fling them. or I kill them, but I grab them up because they're not going to destroy my stuff, because last time they destroyed all of my garden. So I'm not allowing the slugs to destroy my garden. So I got my tools that I need right there. So when I go into the garden after it rains, I'm going in there and I'm grabbing these things. I'm getting them out and I'm stepping on them. I'm doing something, but they not living there. They not living in my garden. Nope. Turn your phone sideways and then the thumbs up will show up. Okay. Nikki, thank you for all you do. Thank you, Chappelle. It is appreciated. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too. Great for information and inspiration as always. Have a great day. You do the same. You do the same. So you guys, I'm wrapping up again. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about not destroying the trees when you're going into a new land, because that was the sermon yesterday. And I started to write it and I was like, it's a little deeper than I had time to write. So I was like, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do it for tomorrow. But it's definitely about when you're going into new territory and you're destroying everything else around you, do not destroy the tree, because the tree is going to produce fruit, and that fruit is going to help you to live, and that fruit is going to help you grow. So that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, you guys. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. I know that you could be doing anything that you wanted to do with your hour, but I'm very appreciative that you chose to spend your hour with me, and I hope that you got a lot of value from this. And I always remember, do not allow anybody to just come in and destroy what you are building, because you are building something beautiful right now, and you cannot allow those outside predators to come in and steal that from you. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. Coffee gotta go. Love you. Love you too. I don't even know how you listened to it for this long, but I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the morning. I will talk to you guys in the stories. We're supposed to have a check-in tonight, so I got to check and see if anybody registered for the check-in. But if not, we'll do it on one of these days this week. And so that is it, you guys. Thank you so much, Miss Lois. Thank you, Connie. Everybody have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the morning.